Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I have a weapon comparison video for you. It's the M4A1 versus the SCAR-L, and I'd like to say in the very beginning of this video that the M4A1, at least before this video, was my least favorite assault rifle in Modern Warfare 3 with the exception of the CM901. I know it's a very, very popular gun and a lot of people like it, but for the life of me I just did not like this gun, and I was a big fan of the SCAR-L, but I put all my biases aside and tried to make the best and most accurate weapon comparison video possible, and I think this video would also be a good example of how to get rid of preconceived notions, throw your biases away, and look at something objectively. And when you look at things objectively, you'll see a very different picture than what you were seeing before with bias. One of the best and easiest comparisons to make between any two guns on, well, really any game is on damage. The M4A1 does 42 damage up close, but drops off to 20 damage at a distance. The SCAR does 35 damage up close, but drops off to 20 damage at a distance. As you can clearly see, the M4A1 has a good bit more close range damage. Now, if for those of you that know in depth, you're going to know that it takes between 3 and 5 shots to kill for both guns. Even though the M4A1 does more damage, its shots to kill hasn't changed a bit, so its time to kill should be the same. However, in close quarters combat, that higher initial damage is going to cause more flinch on their screen. The flinch is when you get shot and your gun and your screen kicks all around. The higher damage the weapon, the more flinch you're going to get, and the M4A1 is going to shake people's screens around more than the SCAR-L, especially in close range combat, and screw up their aiming. On the damage and shots to kill comparison, just saying that the M4A1 is categorically better than the SCAR because it does more damage would be short-sighted and, in this case, incorrect. Because the M4A1 and SCAR have different damage drop ranges. The damage in Modern Warfare 3 just drops off linearly from its high to its low point based on whatever range the programmers gave the guns. In this case, they gave the M4A1 a damage drop range of 14 meters to 26 meters, and the SCAR a damage drop range of 22 meters to 34 meters. Now, the SCAR definitely has more range, but the M4A1 had higher initial damage. We're going all the way back to like Algebra 2 here, calculating some slopes. We're going to skip all that boring math stuff and just go straight to the results. The SCAR does more damage than the M4 at mid-range, and the exact range of that is from 19 meters to 30 meters. The SCAR is doing more damage and killing faster than the M4. I did this by shots to kill and not actual damage numbers, so the SCAR kills in less shots than the M4 at 19 to 30 meters, but the M4 dominates from 0 to 19 meters, and they're tied after 30 meters. We're finished talking about damage for now. Let's move on to rate of fire. The M4A1 fires at 780 RPM, whereas the SCAR fires at 750 RPM. These are extremely, extremely close. In-game combat, you'd be very hard-pressed to tell the difference between the two. However, empirically, numerically, the M4A1 has a higher rate of fire and therefore better, and that means that it's going to have a faster time to kill than the SCAR-L, at least at long range and at close range. But in the medium range, the SCAR is going to dominate, but at the other ranges, the M4A1 has a faster time to kill simply because it shoots faster. Just a quick side note about the M4A1 relating to the rate of fire. It is the fastest killing fully automatic assault rifle for close quarters combat. Nothing competes with the M4A1 in close quarters combat with the exception of MK14 headshots and the crazy overpowered burst weapons. In order to better compare the accuracy between these two weapons, I got some hit plots from Synthic.com, which they're totally cool about me using data just so long as I put their link in the description, and it's down there, and give credit where it's due. I kind of like them. They share data. They're nice. Anyway, as you can tell, the M4A1 is actually quite accurate. When I used this gun, I initially thought that it was a low accuracy weapon. I really personally don't like it and can't hit the broadside of a barn with it, but according to these stats, it is quite an accurate weapon, especially with kick. On the SCAR-L, you can see it is slightly less accurate than the M4A1, but it's precise. It does the same thing over and over again, which leads to the next little bit of text here. The M4A1 is more accurate. If you're talking about pure accuracy, how close you are to the target, the M4A1 is better, but the SCAR is a lot more precise. The SCAR kicks up and to the right. It does the exact same thing every time, so if you can control the recoil, if you can get that downward sliding leftward pattern right, the SCAR could actually be more accurate at long range combat, but just spraying, just hosing like a lot of people do, like I do, the M4A1 is better. Let's talk about something more subjective here near the end of the video, but I think it's a subjectivity that we could almost all agree on. The number one thing is I do not like the M4A1 iron sights. I don't like them in a car, I don't like them on a boat, I do not like them in a tree, I do not like them for dinner, I just do not like the M4A1 iron sights. The actual sight that I aim with, the reticule, is fairly clean and I can aim well with, but the big bulky thing around the sides just really screws me up spotting enemies, and it really, really messes me up in close quarters combat. Whereas I think the SCAR-H has the clearest, easiest to use, and best iron sights in the entire game. probably the SCAR and the MP7 have the best iron sights as far as I'm concerned. There are a lot of people that like the M4A1 iron sights, and I can see why you like it. I can see that the front reticule is pretty clear, and that the side ones, they kill me, they irritate me. I definitely think that the SCAR has better iron sights and wins in this category. At the end of this video, you guys want to know which weapon is better, and I do very begrudgingly admit that the M4A1 is slightly better than the SCAR L. I still do not like the M4A1, and I have a very hard time with it, but I think statistically speaking, the M4A1 is superior because it has a faster rate of fire, it's better in close quarters combat, it's better at long range combat, it pales a little bit in mid-range combat, but if we're running silencers, that mid-range band is pretty narrow anyway. It has a higher flinch in close quarters combat. The iron sights, while I don't like, most people do like, and what really buggered me, what really surprised me, is that the M4A1 is overall more accurate than the SCAR L, and I had to really experiment with it to get a feel for that. I think the weapon is actually quite accurate with kick. I still like the SCAR better. My gameplay is still better with the SCAR, but the numbers, the stats, and the data all point to the M4A1 being very, very slightly better. It's not like a huge dominating being better. It's mostly personal preference, but statistically the M4A1 is better. There, I said it. We're done. Huh. Unless you all in the comments have any other great suggestions for me, I think my next comparison is going to be between the Scorpion and the MP9. Not sure if it's going to be on this channel or on Machinima Respawn, but it's going somewhere. Drifter out.